Good evening. Good evening, President Wilco, members of the board, Superintendent Tomback. We're here in front of you today to present our scope study results for Homestead Wakefield Elementary School improvements. Joining me, I have Mr. Kaufman, he's our facilities planner, and Mr. Cooper from the architectural firm of Frederick Ward Associates. As you are aware, we did engage Frederick Ward to complete a scope study and provide us recommendations for improvements to Homestead Wakefield Elementary School. Mr. Cooper will present the findings and the recommendations this evening. But I'd like to, again, remind the board, as we have on other presentations, and this is for the benefit of the general public, the presentation here, the superintendent's recommendations, and the decisions that you'll make on this project are just to conclude our planning efforts for the project. We spoke in times past on the condition of the economy and that impact, the impact that the economy is having on our capital program. This is an initiative that we started when the capital budget had a different spin relative to available funding from the state and from our local government. All decisions are basically just rely heavily on the funding, and your decisions that you make will basically establish a framework and will give us some direction on this project in the future. We're going to open up with a presentation, and after our presentation, we're here to respond to any questions that you may have. With that said, I'd like to turn the presentation over to Mr. Cooper. Thank you.
Cornell. Good evening.
Good evening.
Again, my name is Chuck Cooper. I'm an architect with Frederick Ward Associates and the project manager for the Scope Study Committee. We began this process about a year ago in November of 2008 with a consensus building and a collaborative effort by the committee that you see here, the Harford County Public Schools Central Office staff, and others in the committee that were on that sheet. We also had the input from the community as well as the PTA, Harford County Public's Parks and Rec, the Maryland State Department of Education, the Homestead Wakefield School Administration, and of course our design team. For anybody that's not familiar, this is the Homestead School on the lower plateau and the Wakefield School above, separated by about 40 feet of vertical distance. Wakefield has pre-K through 2, and Homestead has grades 3 through 5. We also, in the process, referred to the Youth Benefit Elementary School, Deerfield, and the Red Pump Elementary School as sort of models of what Harford County Public Schools is putting out there as far as designs that are very effective. And also in September of 2009, Kevin Small from our office came and presented to you folks for the master plan of the Bel Air campus, this is an image from that showing the new Bel Air High School, the existing Bel Air Middle, Homestead Wakefield, and as it exists now. Our goal was really to assess the physical condition of these two buildings as well as the small kindergarten building into the overall campus to help establish the ed spec, provide options for the replacement and repairs of these two buildings, and present 3 options for your consideration tonight. We use design principles of improved site circulation and access, stormwater management, and safety, of course, because of the nature of the 2-building scenario, to provide new and improved play fields, bring both of these schools together into one building while minimizing the impact during construction to the school operations. We're, of course, meeting the LEED schools requirements for the Maryland Green Schools Initiative, and we want to increase the program space for the increased state-rated capacity of these schools. During the evaluation process, we noticed, of course, that Wakefield had just recently undergone a $5.5 million renovation, which we wanted to keep all that intact if possible. There was HVAC, exterior envelope, and some plumbing renovations done. Homestead, in short, is not as easily made modern because of some decreased plenum space, a lot of issues with the exterior envelope, and because it's on the lower portion of the site, it has a lot more complex stormwater and drainage characteristics. We did come up with the 3 options, which I'm going to go into here shortly, but option 1 is expanding Wakefield to the northwest. Part of the building goes down the slope of the site towards Homestead. Option 2 is to renovate each school in place, with daycare being added at Homestead and new cafeterias and gyms in each school. And option 3 was expanding Wakefield to the northeast, which is sort of the preferred option, where we use the slope of the site for parking instead of for a structure. That one is actually also the most sustainable of the 3 options because of the ability to keep the most amount of trees and keep the site as forested as possible, and to utilize the daylighting and a lot of the good design. Even though Wakefield was built in '58 and Homestead in '66, Wakefield is more of the forward-thinking design coming out of the box. This site plan shows option 1, which is expanding Wakefield to the northwest, where we expand down the slope of the site here. McPhail comes in here, and we have parking up in this area. You've seen a lot of this on the master plan, so I won't go too far into it. But essentially, we provide a new facade here, close off this wing a little bit here, and then provide a 2-story expansion going down the hill here towards the new John Archer School addition and the Bel Air School. There are new play fields that are renovated in this area, and of course these areas as well, and improve site circulation and parking and access. On the floor plan itself, it would be treated with a new canopy and some exterior tot lots, the daycare in this area with the pre-K and special ed in the front, and then the other lower level grades here. New cafeteria and gymnasium, much more secure entry points, and an ability to close it off, because I understand there's a lot of parks and rec and after school activities in these schools, and that was a very strong design intent during the process. This one does have the largest footprint and is the most costly of the 3 options. During construction, the entire admin and teaching staff would have to be relocated, probably to Homestead and also into portable classrooms. This building has about 163,000 square feet and has the largest state-rated capacity of the 3 at 1167. On the lower floor, which actually goes down the hill, there's a new media center here, and most of the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade classrooms, some common areas and some flex classroom space, new tiered computer lab, circulation, and some mechanical spaces. This one has a 24-month construction duration and has a construction cost of about $25.2 million. Option 2 is the scheme where we renovate Wakefield and Homestead in place. Obviously, the John Archer School is in this particular scenario here. We have parking that is sort of shared by the 2. In this particular case, Homestead has a daycare added and a new gymnasium and cafeteria. The exterior is a little bit bigger than before. And then we have a loop access drop-off here and service entrance to Wakefield with a new courtyard closed in, new gymnasium and cafeteria, and the bus parking up here. There's a lot of rec field opportunities here and some forestation, but in reality, you're still stuck with the fact that both buildings are 2 separate schools. You do not have the schools under one roof. So by leaving it as 2 separate buildings, it's not very advantageous. In the Wakefield design to renovate it in place, the capacity is 520 students with a construction duration of 18 months, and the construction cost is about $9.8 million. This does get a new treatment of the exterior with the gym here, much larger, music and vocal, health suite and administration wing here, and a revised cafeteria. In this particular case, we took the old gymnasium and converted it into classroom space and left the fairly recently modernized media center alone. In all the scenarios, we closed in this open wing here to help with maintenance and to be able to still access it for security, but also having an environmental interpretive area for outdoor classroom space within the 2 wings. This one can be phased into potentially 4 phases, where we renovate the existing gym interior here. Phase 2 would be to construct and upgrade the new cafeteria. Phase 3 would be to demo the existing administration and health areas and construct new ones. And phase 4 would be to construct a new gymnasium.